Jai Guru. What follows is an exploration of the Inchegiri Navnath Sampradaya, a timeless lineage of spiritual masters rooted in non-dual teachings. Its ancient wisdom stands as a guiding light for seekers worldwide today. The Inchegiri Navnath Sampradaya is a lineage that dates back over 1,000 years to Saint Dattatreya, an incarnation of the Divine Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. The Nath, or Nine Masters, originated with the teachings of Saint Dattatreya, and they later came to be known as the Navnath, the Nine Saints. Raghunath Maharaj was the 7th or 8th Nath who lived around the 5th or 7th century. The origin of the Inchegiri Navnath can be traced back directly to Raghunath Maharaj, who was himself initiated by Saint Dattatreya in a place called Vita. He was later called Siddhareshwar. Kad means jungle and Siddhareshwar means Great Lord. He was renowned for his siddhis or powers. There followed a lineage of successive masters, all of whom were named Kadsideshwar. Raghunath Maharaj's Samadhi is located in the village of Renave near Vita.
जय देव जय रेवन्नाथा भवभयकारक तु दीननाथा जय देव जय देव जय देव जय देव जय रेवन्नाथा भवभयकारक तु दीननाथा जय देव जय देव जय देव जय देव जय नवनाथा भवभयकारक तु दीननाथा जय देव जय देव जय देव जय देव जय नवनाथा भवभयकारक तु दीननाथा जय देव जय देव अवतरले तेव्हा रेवण्णा मे प्रेमे पाचरले सहन सारक कृषिकर्मी रमले दत्तांनी सिद्धी देऊन चकविले जय देव जय देव जय देव जय देव जय नवनाथा भवभयकारक तु दीननाथा जय देव जय देव जय देव जय देव जय नवनाथा भवभयकारक तु दीननाथा जय देव जय देव बावरले दत्त गुरुपदी शरणागत झाले गुरूंनी विद्या दिली तप आचरविले ब्रह्म पारायण तीर्था पाठविले जय देव जय देव जय देव जय देव जय नवनाथा भवभयकारक तु दीननाथा जय देव जय देव जय देव जय देव जय नवनाथा भवभयकारक तु दीननाथा जय देव जय देव सप्तसूत दिले सप्तसिद्धी विद्या परिपूरित केले भक्तासाठी विट ग्रामी रमले जय देव जय देव जय देव जय देव जय नवनाथा भवभयकारक तु दीननाथा जय देव जय देव जय देव जय देव जय नवनाथा भवभयकारक तु दीननाथा जय देव जय देव केले विठामाई स्तव दीननाथ बनले प्रेमानंदे दासा मन सुखविले जय देव जय देव जय देव जय देव जय नवनाथा भवभयकारक तु दीननाथा जय देव जय देव जय देव जय देव जय नवनाथा भवभयकारक तु दीननाथा जय देव जय देव जय देव जय देव जय नवनाथा भवभयकारक तु दीननाथा
Guruling Jangam Maharaj. Guruling Jangam Maharaj, 1789 to 1875, was named Narayan Rao at birth. Shortly after, the family relocated to Nimbarge. In 1814, at the age of 25, after receiving his father's disapproval for attending the Hindu festival of Holi, or Festival of Colours, he travelled to Pandharpur to pray at the temple there. Sometime later, the Hindu deity, Lord Vital, appeared to him in a dream and instructed him to go to Sidgiri near Kolhapur, where he was informed he would meet his master. The dream came true, and he received the lineage mantra from Shri Mupan Muni. Guruling Jangam was instructed to meditate regularly using the mantra, and was even told that he would become well known. But Guruling Jangam did not meditate much at all for the first few years, until he was prompted again by another visit from Siddarameshwar Maharaj some years later. Guruling Jangam is also known as Nimbarge. He was a dyer by trade, but later became a shepherd, which he thought would be more conducive to meditation. He practiced meditation for 36 years. And after self-realization, he taught from the age of 67 for the next 28 years. Also, he used to write poems, which he signed Guruling Jangam. He attained Mahasamadhi at the age of 95. His family home is in Nimbarge village, where various artifacts are on display, such as a chilam and a vessel for the Aarti ceremony. Quote by Nimbarge: "Relinquishment of forgetfulness and living in constant wakefulness." You can visit Sidgiri near Kolhapur, where Guruling Jangam was initiated, as well as his samadhis in Nimbarge and Inchegiri.
Jagasa
Raghunath Priya Maharaj. And now a brief word about an ashram in Chimad, South Karnataka. This ashram is dedicated to Raghunath Priya Maharaj, who was a disciple of Guruling Jangam Maharaj. The story goes that Raghunath Priya enjoyed debating yoga. However, when he lost the debate to Guruling Jangam, he became his disciple and remained with his master. Sometime later, Guruling Jangam instructed him to travel to the ashram in Chimad. Raghunath Priya left the body in 1879, age 50. His samadhi can be seen underwater on the grounds of the ashram in Chimad. And now we arrive at the head of the Inchegiri Navnath Sampradaya, the giant of giants, Sri Bhausaheb Maharaj, 1843 to 1914. He is regarded by many as the reincarnation of Saint Tukaram. Bhausaheb Maharaj was born in Umadi. Even as a child, when he visited the Maruti temple, Raghunath Priya Maharaj acknowledged him and showed him respect. At 15 years of age, he asked Guruling Jangam Maharaj for the mantra. However, as Bhausaheb Maharaj was a Brahmin, he could not receive the mantra from Gurulinga, who was a Lingayat, because if he did so, he would lose his caste. Therefore, Gurulinga asked Raghunath Priya Maharaj to initiate Sri Bhausaheb on his behalf. The Hanuman temple in Umadi is the very place where Raghunath Priya Maharaj gave the Nam mantra to Bhausaheb Maharaj. From that day onwards, Sri Bhausaheb devoted a minimum of 9 hours a day, often 13 hours, to meditation, divided into 3 sessions, without missing one day until he died. Knowing which of his disciples were not meditating, he meditated for them. He survived on very little sleep, only 1 or 2 hours per night. Bhausaheb Maharaj was a landowner and worked as a tax collector. He was 46 when an aged Guruling Jangam Maharaj authorized him to give the mantra. It has been said that Sri Bhausaheb initiated more than 3,000 people. His prominent disciples were Siddarameshwar Maharaj, Amburao Maharaj, Saint Shiva Lingavva, Saint Hemavva, Ganapathrao Maharaj and Gurudev Ranadev, to mention just a few. Bhausaheb Maharaj was rejected by the rest of the Gurulinga devotees, so he moved to Inchegiri, 63 kilometres from Nimbarge, where his disciple Amburao Maharaj resided. Inchegiri is the place that gives its name to the Inchegiri Navnath Sampradaya. Sri Bhausaheb took a part of Guruling Jangam Maharaj's remains with him to Inchegiri, where he settled. Shortly afterwards, his disciples followed him there. Bhausaheb Maharaj's teachings are similar to those of the lineage today, but only in kind, not in length. Receiving the mantra and teachings, reading 100 verses of the Dasbod daily, chanting the bhajans and meditating for 9 hours a day. The small book Nama Yoga contains some of his teachings. Bhausaheb Maharaj stopped eating and drinking as he saw the end of his life approaching. On the day of his Mahasamadhi, while he was with his devotees chanting the bhajans and clapping his hands vigorously, Bhausaheb Maharaj fell to the ground. During the cremation, it is said that disciples could hear the Nam mantra coming from their master's bones. The disciples of Bhausaheb Maharaj built a samadhi for their master in Inchegiri, and every year hundreds flocked to attend the celebrations and receive Darshan. There are also 3 other samadhis there, one to Guruling Jangam Maharaj, the other to Shri Siddharameshwar, and another to Shri Amburao. Quotes from Bhausaheb Maharaj. Silence the chatter of the mind, and you will hear the voice of the divine. Meditation is the nucleus of the practice. Repetition of the Nam mantra soaks up the ego deep in our spiritual heart and is absorbed. You can visit the ashram and meditation hall in Umadi, Maharashtra, the Hanuman temple and Ram temple in Bijapur, Karnataka, where Bhausaheb Maharaj meditated, and also Inchegiri and Bhagavati.
Aarti Umadesha
Saint Shiva Lingavva and Saint Hemavva. And now let's turn our attention to two female masters. Very few women are known to have been a prominent part of the lineage, but two in particular stand out: Saint Shiva Lingavva and Saint Hemavva. Both were disciples of Sri Bhausaheb Maharaj. Saint Shiva Lingavva was a contemplative type who enjoyed writing poetry, whereas Saint Hemavva was known for her mystical nature. Saint Shiva Lingavva, 1867 to 1930, lived all her life in Jat village, while Hemavva, whose dates are unknown, settled in Bhagavadi. Saint Shiva Lingavva, like most Indian women of their day, received only a basic level of education. She was blessed to meet her master, Sri Bhausaheb Maharaj, when she was only 6 years old. And just like with Siddharameshwar Maharaj, Sri Bhausaheb recognized the Guru's qualities immediately and gave her the Nam mantra. Years later, Sri Bhausaheb persuaded her to marry. Tragedy followed. Not long after her marriage, she bore 2 sons, but they did not survive. And not only that, shortly after this huge loss, her husband also died. The immensity of her pain drove her to devote herself exclusively to spirituality. Her already intense suffering paved the way for further unbearable grief at the news of Sri Bhausaheb Maharaj's Mahasamadhi in 1914. After a period of prolonged and intense meditation, self-realization took place, which later inspired her to write poems and letters. Professor Ranade regarded her as his sister and instructed her to initiate his family members as well as some others. It is said that Professor Ranade bowed down before Saint Shiva Lingavva, which was a rare event, in homage to her importance in the lineage and to the depths of her realization. She died of cholera in 1930, leaving behind her a group of disciples. 4 years later, her samadhi was built. A painting can often be seen of her with 3 horizontal lines across her forehead, among the photos of the other lineage masters that hang on the walls of various ashram. Another exemplary female disciple of Sri Bhausaheb Maharaj is called Saint Hemavva. She is a contemporary of Sri Siddharameshwar. After Sri Bhausaheb's passing, she caught the plague. Her husband left her in the jungle to prevent any further spread of the disease and expected her to die there. Saint Hemavva turned to Bhausaheb Maharaj for help, and because of her deep devotion and fervent prayer, she had many visions of Bhausaheb Maharaj. She felt his presence strongly and was looked after by him until she recovered. Sri Bhausaheb even manifested in the form, fulfilling her deep wish to be able to continue worshipping him as she used to. Remarkably, from then on, Sri Bhausaheb kept her company and communicated with her. She was one with her master, one with the self. You can trace Saint Hemavva's footsteps in Bhagavadi, and you can also visit Saint Lingavva's Samadhi in Jat. Here is one of her poems. This body is the city of the Lord. If you leave it without realizing the Lord, it would be desolate. Since you have arrived in this city, you should labor hard. Remember Him with firm devotion and realize His real form. You should pray to your Guru to lead you to this blessed goal. Bow down to Him with folded palms, be united with the Lord, and become immortal. Then alone would you have fulfilled the object of arriving in the city. Amburao Maharaj was born in Jigajivani, Bijapur, September the 21st, 1857 to December the 22nd, 1933. He was a Brahmin who worked as an accountant and tax collector. When he went to school in Nambarge, he had the good fortune to encounter Guruling, also known as Nambarge, and he would receive his blessings and prasad. Later on in life, he moved to Inchegiri, married and had a daughter. As with many would-be saints, shortly afterwards, he underwent intense suffering. He faced many challenges in life. His parents died at a young age, leaving him with the responsibility of caring for his younger siblings. Subsequently, he suffered the loss of his wife and his daughter. Thus, his immense grief threw him into a deep depression. Seeing Amburao's state, his widowed sister used to encourage him to attend religious festivals. At one of these, he had the good fortune to meet Sri Bhausaheb Maharaj, who offered to initiate him with the Nam mantra. But in his depressed state, Amburao knew that he would not be able to commit to the practice, and so he refused Sri Bhausaheb's offer. Sometime later, however, after receiving the sacred Nam from one of Sri Bhausaheb Maharaj's disciples, he threw himself into the practice and was blessed with many experiences. He showed deep devotion towards his master. 1 year after Sri Bhausaheb Maharaj's Mahasamadhi, Sri Amburao received an instruction from him that he was to start initiating seekers. Before initiating anyone, he used to consult his master, always emphasizing to the initiated that Sri Bhausaheb Maharaj was their teacher and not him. He taught his disciples that with the help of the Nam mantra, they would see the Sadguru as Parabrahman himself and realize the absolute within. The importance given to the Nam mantra was significant. Much like the focus of the practice in the lineage today, he emphasized devotion, meditation, Nam mantra japa, spiritual reading, and singing bhajans. Gurudev Ranade had the utmost respect for Sri Amburao, and he treated him just like his guru. Gurudev Ranade is an important figure in the lineage, as he was responsible for selecting the bhajans that we still sing to this day. Sri Amburao attained Mahasamadhi. His samadhi was built close to that of Bhausaheb Maharaj. Quote from Amburao Maharaj: "Undaunted by difficulties and calamities, meditate firmly with courage and love on the name as instructed by the Guru, and you will come to know that you alone are the happiest person in this miserable world." You can visit his birthplace in Jigajivani, Bijapur, as well as his samadhi in Inchegiri.
Jai Deva Jai Sadguru Raya Jai Amburao O Ado Banjal De Premi Davaya Jai Deva Jai Sadguru Nama Sadhu Ranka Vadavila Karnataka Marashi Chendaro Vila Jivan Mukti Danir Marga Hidavila Arade Garni Bhavana Shramadhala Jai Deva Jai Sadguru Raya Jai Amburao O Ado Banjal De Premi Davaya Jai Deva Jai
Siddharameshwar Maharaj, the 31st of July or 1st of August 1888 to 9th of November 1936. Sri Siddarameshwar was born in Patri to landowner parents who were very religious. He had 5 siblings. He was naturally inclined towards spirituality and had dreams in which he saw both Raghunath Maharaj and Siddeshwar, a 12th century mystic from Sholapur. The family moved to Sholapur, where he finished his education. Subsequently, he became an accountant, married, and then moved to Bijapur. He also had ambitions in those days of becoming a wrestler, so he trained regularly at the gym. One day, in 1906, he met Sri Bhausaheb Maharaj, who had travelled from Umadi. On seeing Sri Siddharameshwar, Bhausaheb Maharaj recognised his greatness and immediately initiated him with the sacred Nam. Since he was an accountant and worked all day, Bhausaheb Maharaj told him to meditate for only 3 hours a day in 3 one-hour sessions. 2 years after Bhausaheb Maharaj's Mahasamadhi, Siddharameshwar Maharaj shared with fellow disciples that what was needed was a quicker path than meditation. In his view, meditation was only the first stage and insufficient at that. He reduced the hours of meditation. He made the distinction between the ant's way of meditation and the bird's way of knowledge using discrimination. However, such outspokenness created dissent and tension among the Guru Bandhus in Inchegiri. When and where exactly Siddarameshwar Maharaj attained final realization is debatable. Some sources say it happened at Upli Burs, Bijapur, after an intense period of meditation and fasting. Others say it happened over 9 months, and yet again others state that it was spread over 2 years till around 1917. Sri Siddharameshwar began teaching in 1920 in Bhagavadi and Patri. He taught without distinction of caste, sex, education or wealth, also initiating prostitutes. No one was excluded. Some learned people became his disciples and then sent their relatives to be initiated by him as well. Following this, he began teaching in Mumbai, where he met three well-known disciples, namely Ranjit Maharaj, Nisargadatta Maharaj and Binath Maharaj. Another contemporary and notable disciple of his was Ganapathrao Maharaj, who received the mantra at the age of 13. After living with his master in Inchegiri for a short time, he moved to a quieter area and settled in Kannur. Many disciples of Sri Siddarameshwar self-realized under his guidance. There were also miraculous stories of how his interventions saved many lives. Sri Siddarameshwar's visionary work, The Golden Day, appeared in 1926. Another book followed, Amrut Laya, The Stateless State, which was published in 3 small volumes. It is a commentary on excerpts from the Dasbod, the Yoga Vashishta, and other books. However, Sri Siddarameshwar is chiefly known for the spiritual classic Master of Self-Realization, compiled by his disciple Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. He attained Mahasamadhi on the 9th of November 1936 as a consequence of complications arising from diabetes. The body was only 48 years. Quotes by Siddarameshwar Maharaj. This world is like a dream, and hence, in this dream world, whatever is good or bad, dharma or adharma, merit or sin, morality, are of no consequence for the awakening of the self, and therefore renunciation of both auspicious and inauspicious, good and bad, is necessary to get the knowledge of the self. Meditate on the teaching given by the Sadguru and hold it very near to your heart. You can visit the Canon site at Upli Boors, the Samadhis in various sites such as Mahabaleshwar in the Satara district of Maharashtra in the Western Ghats, a mountain range, Bhagavadi and Patri in Sholapur, as well as other important sites like the Sidgiri Math and the Ram Temple, Bijapur. Nisargadatta Maharaj, born Maruti Shivrampan, Kambli, 17th of April 1897 to the 8th of September 1981, was brought up alongside 6 siblings in Kandalgaon, a small village in the Sindhudurga district of Maharashtra. His parents were religious. In 1915, after his father died, he moved to Mumbai, where he earned his living selling bidis, leaf-rolled cigarettes. The success of his business saw the expansion of several more shops. He married and had 3 daughters and 1 son. In 1933, he was introduced by a friend to his guru, Sri Siddharameshwar. His guru told him, "You are not what you take yourself to be." Siddarameshwar Maharaj initiated him into the Inchegiri Sampradaya with the sacred Nam mantra. He diligently followed his master's instructions. After Siddarameshwar Maharaj's Mahasamadhi, Nisargadatta Maharaj left Mumbai for 8 months, determined to meditate, search, and travel. When he returned, a profound change had taken place. He was no longer searching or restless, but instead he found himself in a state of total peace. In the spiritual classic I Am That, when a questioner asked the following, "Kindly tell us how you realized," Maharaj replied, "I met my Guru when I was 34 and realized by 37. His book, I Am That, published in 1974, brought many visitors from around the world to listen to him. He gave discourses twice a day and sang bhajans 4 times a day. This daily routine continued right up until a few days before his Mahasamadhi, and that in spite of his throat cancer. Quotes from Nisargadatta Maharaj. When the sense of distinction and separation is absent, you may call it love. To remain in the waking state without thought is the greatest worship. Visit his birthplace in Kandalgaon, Kolhapur, his Mumbai house in Ketwadi Lane, and the Samadhi in Banganga cremation ground. Next comes Shri Binath Maharaj, of whom Nisargadatta said, "Whenever you mention my name, mention Binath too." They were very close Guru Bandhus who spent hours discussing the ultimate questions, philosophy and spirituality. Apart from the intellectual stimulation which bonded them, there was the obvious companionship and love which developed over the years, rooted in their master Sri Siddarameshwar Maharaj. Although Binath Maharaj did not teach, there was no doubt that he had also reached the realized state. Quote by Binath Maharaj, "The highest philosophical perception among the seekers all over the world is the same. It is incorrect to say that after negation of illusion-bred duality, there is no room left for worship of cosmic oneness. For now it becomes worship of Shiva by becoming Shiva. In this worship, the worshipper loses his separate identity." You can visit the Samadhi of Binath Maharaj in Banganga. Shri Kundan. Shri Kundan, 1921 to 1996, from California, lived in India for several years. First in Tiruvannamalai as a devotee of Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, and then in Mumbai as a devotee of Nisargadatta Maharaj. She understood that they are one, and that one is the Sadguru in the heart. Shri Kundan is the editor of several books by Nisargadatta Maharaj, who had the highest regard for her, stating publicly that she was a jnani. Shri Nisargadatta singled her out and authorized her to guide and initiate seekers with the sacred Nam mantra into the Inchegiri Sampradaya. Here is a quote from her journals, 1977 to 1981. Quote, "Such love for him has grown in my heart all unawares, that no words can express. There is complete faith and trust, all through his grace. He is my very self, manifesting as my Guru, calling me back to my real nature. Go back the way you came. Go to the source. Find out who you are. The desire to find out must be like a hunger." Unquote. Shri Ranjit Maharaj, the 4th of January 1913 till 15th of November 2000, was born in Mumbai to a Gujarati family. He met his guru Siddharameshwar Maharaj at the age of 11 or 12. Intensely spiritual as a child, he used to fervently worship Lord Krishna. However, on meeting his guru, he immediately forgot about Krishna. Shri Ranjit was a contemporary of Nisargadatta. Ranjit Maharaj worked as an accountant until the age of 80. Because of his shy nature and respect for his senior Guru Bandhus, he did not have any of his own disciples until many years later. It was in fact not until one day, at the age of 70, when Sri Siddharameshwar's granddaughter-in-law asked him for the Nam mantra, that he agreed to carry on the spiritual lineage. He taught from his one-room apartment in Jangam, the only home he had ever known. In 2000, Sri Ranjit Maharaj suffered a stroke, which left him paralysed on one side. However, this did not deter him from attending Sri Siddarameshwar's Samadhi in Bhagavati for the annual pilgrimage. Years later, an ashram in his name was undergoing construction in Nashik. However, he did not live to see its completion. His master, Sri Siddarameshwar's Samadhi, which he visited every Sunday, lies just next to where his own stands today in Mumbai. Quotes by Ranjit Maharaj. Don't be like a mouse, always running away. Ignorance came by hearing and is dispelled by hearing. By words you have become bound, and by words you can be free. Words are false, but their meaning is true. The illusion is needed in order to go beyond it. The Master is the greatest illusion, because all that he says with full heart and frankness is false. But the false words that the Master tells you can make you reach reality. The Master takes you to that place where there is no one to understand anything. His 12-foot square home in Jangam is well preserved. You can also visit Ranjit Ashram in Nashik and Banganga Crematorium.
Aarti Ranjiteshwara Sadguru Samartha Bodhuni Nida Bhakta Uddarile Si Jagata Aarti Ranjiteshwara
Ramakant Maharaj, the 8th of July 1941 till the 31st of August 2018, was a direct disciple of the late Shri Nisargadatta Maharaj, and he spent nearly 20 years with him. Ramakant Maharaj was raised in rural Fondagat, Maharashtra. In 1962, he was introduced by relatives to his guru, Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, who initiated him with the Nam Mantra on the 2nd of October 1962. In 1965, Nisargadatta Maharaj arranged for him to gain entry to the prestigious establishment of Elphinstone College. Ramakant Maharaj visited Nisargadatta Maharaj and listened to his lectures regularly until his master's Mahasamadhi in 1981. He relocated to Nashik Ashram after his retirement. The publication of his teachings in the book Selfless Self in 2015 brought many seekers from around the world to the ashram in Nashik. While there, they listened to the highest and most direct teachings. Sri Ramakant had a deep wish to initiate many seekers in order to bring them out of illusion and put an end to their suffering. Sri Nisargadatta had previously advised him in this way: whatever you want to do it alone. Don't expect any help from others. Thus, he followed his master's guidance and initiated countless seekers from the four corners. Quotes from Ramakant Maharaj: when happiness is no longer required, you have reached the destination. My master told me, you are final truth. Therefore, I am final truth. It is very, very simple if you accept what the master says instead of analysing the words. Visit Maharaj's home in Nashik Ashram, and his country home in Fondagat. There is also a Ramakant Maharaj ashram and samadhi in Mauritius.
जय देव जय रमाकांता हो जय दीनानाथा आरती ओवाळी तो तुझला अनंता जय देव बहुभाग्य अमुचे जगिया अवतरला तव ज्ञानाचा थोर लाभ आम्हा झाला जय देव जय रमाकांता हो जय दीनानाथा आरती ओवाळी तो तुझला अनंता जय देव तू देह नव्हेसी परमात्मा खरा बोधुनी ऐसे उद्धार भक्तांचा केला जय देव जय रमाकांता हो जय दीनानाथा आरती ओवाळी तो तुझला अनंता जय देव ध्यानी मनी तुझिया निसर्गदत्त वाणी तैसी आम्हा झाली तव बोधवाणी जय देव जय रमाकांता हो जय दीनानाथा आरती ओवाळी तो तुझला अनंता जय देव निरसुनी जन्म मरणा तू दाविली मुक्ती कृतार्थ होऊनी भक्त लोटांगणी जाती जय देव जय रमाकांता हो जय दीनानाथा आरती ओवाळी तो तुझला अनंता जय देव
Balwant Maharaj, the 26th of June 1955 till the 10th of March 2021. Shri Balwant Maharaj was a close Guru Bandhu of Sri Ramakant Maharaj. Like his grandfather, Sri Siddharameshwar, he continued his Guru Seva in Patri, the birthplace and Samadhi location of Sri Siddarameshwar Maharaj, as well as at the Samadhi of Sri Sadguru Ranjit Maharaj in Nyansgarmath, Patri. He preserved and spread the roots of self-knowledge that he received from Sri Siddarameshwar through his Guru Ranjit Maharaj. He continued the traditions of the Inchegiri Sampradaya and initiated and organised Santa Darshan annually for all disciples, facilitating visits to the auspicious places of the Sampradaya. Although he did not speak English, his radiance and joy were communicated, contagious in fact. He was always shining, overflowing with love and light, dancing and celebrating. His Samadhi is located in Patri's Dhyan Mandir, the very place where Sri Sadguru Siddharameshwar Maharaj lived.
जय देव जय बळवंता आरती ओवाळू सद्गुरुनाथा जय देव ज्ञान दिले तू आम्हा अज्ञाना उद्धरिलेसी आम्हा ज्ञानदाता लाभले तू आम्हा सद्गुरुनाथा अनंत जन्माचे पुण्य पावता जय देव जय बळवंता आरती ओवाळू सद्गुरुनाथा जय देव भक्त तू गुरु रणजिता नाम तुझ्या मुखी रणजिता चरणी ठेवितो माता हरली भाव भक्त चिंता जय देव जय बळवंता आरती ओवाळू सद्गुरुनाथा जय देव सुख सैता दुःख हरता निर्मळ एकांता कलिमा दहन वन स्वामी समर्था न कळे ब्रह्मादिक अंत अनंता तो तू आम्हा सुलभ जय कृपावंता जय देव माहेर माहेर विश्रांती ठाव शब्दी अर्थ लाभ बोलो निभाव सद्गुरु प्रसादे सुलभ उपाव रामी राम दासा फला सद्भाव जय देव पूर्ण करा आरती ओवाळू सद्गुरु महाराज जय देव जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय 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 गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय 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 गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय 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 रजाधिराज सद्गुरुनाथ श्री सिद्धरामेश्वर महाराज की जय रजाधिराज सद्गुरुनाथ श्री भाऊसाहेब महाराज की जय रजाधिराज सद्गुरुनाथ श्री रंजीत महाराज की जय रजाधिराज सद्गुरुनाथ श्री बलवंत महाराज की जय।
Vijay Maharaj was born on the 14th of December 1955 in Sindhudurg, Maharashtra. He worked for a government organisation in a managerial and quasi-judicial capacity and also underwent advocate practice in Mumbai High Court. He met Nisargadatta Maharaj in May 1976 after coming across a pocket book by Nisargadatta Maharaj entitled Bodha Shuddha, which had his picture on the cover. The central focus of his teaching is that mankind should know his own real existence. What is the reality? What is the concept of God? Why does he need to meet or see God? Who is he? What can he give to society or mankind? The removal of wrong concepts will overcome any fear. Human beings get stuck with the wrong ideas of their own existence, and instead of searching for God, they should try to know the self, know the reality of their own appearance, that they exist in perpetuity as that which is everlasting. Knowledge of the biggest death, the end and beginning of existence. When asked what he remembers most of Nisargadatta Maharaj, he replied, the way he used to bring the listener back to his true being. What makes everyone restless? Everyone wants peace in the world, but first he should try to establish it in his own self. One should learn tolerance and have patience within. Shri Vijay is based at the Nisargadatta Adhyatma Kendra in Daisar, Mumbai. He offers Nam Mantra initiation to sincere seekers. Nisargadatta Maharaj's Samadhi is also located in the ashram, along with some of his personal effects. Anne Shaw, called Anjima by her devotees, is a senior disciple of Sri Ramakant Maharaj. She is also the editor of Maharaj's spiritual classic Selfless Self and his other books. Shortly after discovering Maharaj in 2013, Anne and her husband Charles introduced Maharaj to the West. In June 2018, Maharaj authorized Anne to initiate sincere devotees with the sacred Nam Mantra into the Inchegiri Sampradaya, and to spread the teachings of her beloved master worldwide. As well as being a teacher, she is also an author. Timeless Years with Sri Ramakant Maharaj, 2012 to 2022, and Who Am I were both published in 2022. Who Am I? Q&A was published in 2025. Here is one of her poems. Dear beloved Ramakant Maharaj, you are my heartbeat, my every breath. You are my ears, my eyes, my mouth, nose, and touch. When I utter your sacred name, Ramakant Maharaj, I hear your voice, see your smile, smell your fragrance, and feel your touch. Dear beloved Ramakant Maharaj, when you stepped into my beingness and climbed into my eyes, you made my heart your dwelling place, and your sweet name became my name. Through your eyes, I see everything. Through your eyes, I see nothing. Beloved Ramakant Maharaj, you made my heart your dwelling place. Beloved Ramakant Maharaj, your sweet name became my name.
आरती अंज माता उद्धरिले तू भक्ता निज स्वार्थ सांडुनिया ज्ञान दिलेसी जगता आरती अंजी माता सगुण रूप तुझे असे लोभ समनोहर निजानंदी रंगलेले अंत त्याहुनी सुंदर आरती अंजी माता अगाध तुझी भक्ती आम्हा देई नित्य स्फूर्ती नासुनिया मोह भ्रांती केली सुलभ तू मोक्ती आरती अंजी माता सत्याचा शोध घेता आली स्वरूपी स्थिरता धन्य आम्ही झालो आता चरणी ठेवी तो माता आरती अंजी माता उद्धरिले तू भक्ता निज स्वार्थ सांडुनिया ज्ञान दिलेसी जगता आरती अंजी माता
Here is a quote by Maurice Friedman, whom Nisargadatta Maharaj publicly stated was a jnani. The quote comes from the appendix section of I Am That, which describes the uniqueness of this lineage. The teaching of the Nath Sampradaya offers the seeker the royal road to liberation, a road in which all the four bylanes of bhakti, jnana, karma and dhyana seem to unite. That is, devotion, knowledge, work, service and meditation. The path shown by the Nath is the best of all and leads directly to liberation. And now, before we conclude, let us take a look at three more important figures. First of all, Swami Ramdas. Swami Ramdas, 1608 to 1682, was born in the city of Jam and named Narayan. At the age of 12, he had visions of God Rama. He was given various practices and was accepted as a disciple named Ramdas, meaning God's servant. The story goes that soon after, as his marriage was about to be arranged, he received a heavenly caution. As he heard a voice saying, "Watch out," he ran as fast as he could, not stopping till he reached Nashik, 430 kilometers away from Jam. It was at this time that he began strict, disciplined practice under the guidance of Rama, or his inner master. At age 24, he attained self-realization. One of the lineage source books, the Dasbod, written in 1654, originated from an oral transmission by Swami Samarth Ramdas to his disciple Ambaji, who became known as Kalyan Swami when they were living in a cave. Samarth Ramdas attended the coronation ceremony of Chhatrapati Shivaji in 1674, the king accepted him as a guru. Quotes from Swami Ramdas. The whole universe is permeated through and through with God. The visible and invisible worlds are all He, as manifest and unmanifest. There is nothing and none but He. All is He. Such is the truth. Where then is the idea of I and you, mine and yours? All are He and His. What is self-realization? It is giving up the pretension that you are not the self, that you are a mere body. People say to me, "You are God Himself." I reply, "You are also He." "We are not He," they rejoin. What else is this but that they simulate and, for some leela of their own, hide behind a mask their real and divine nature? Sites of interest are Shiftergal Cave, located in Varanda Ghat of the Sahyadri Mountains, and Sajangad, a fort near the city of Satara in Maharashtra, where you will find his samadhi and personal effects. Two significant Maharashtrian saints follow, Saint Dnyaneshwar and Saint Tukaram. Saint Dnyaneshwar, 1275 to 1296, was a saint, poet and philosopher born in Alandi, Pune, on the banks of the Indrayani river. He was part of the Nath tradition. Dnyaneshwar's father, Vitalpan, and his mother committed suicide, throwing themselves into the river. The father had become a sannyasin only to return later as a householder. He had children. As a result of the father's actions, the children were excluded from becoming Brahmins. Dnyaneshwar took Samadhi at the age of 21 or 22, it is said, to inspire people to contemplate the profound truth of death. Entombed in a state of deep meditation known as Jivan Samadhi, centuries later the story goes that Saint Eknath entered the tomb and saw a radiant youth seated in meditation. Quote from Saint Dnyaneshwar: "This freedom is only something created by the self-destruction of ignorance." You can visit Dnyaneshwar Samadhi Mandir in Alandi, Pune. Saint Tukaram was born circa 1608 in the village of Dehu. He is considered to be one of the most important figures in the Bhakti movement. He was faced with many challenges in life, such as the loss of his wife and son due to a famine, as well as poverty. Such experiences turned him inwards. After deep contemplation, he started writing poems and abhangas. 16 of these abhangas, or devotional songs, are still sung today in the lineage as part of the evening bhajans, out of the nearly 5,000 he composed. In his day, he was despised for his knowledge by various castes and religious factions. Apparently, all his poems were cast into the river, but then re-emerged miraculously. He left the body aged 41. Quote from Saint Tukaram: "The one who has control over the mind has control over everything." His samadhi lies in Mandir, Dehu, northwest Pune.
जागृति स्वप्नी पांडुरंग पांडुरंग जानी पांडुरंग जानी पांडुरंग मनी पांडुरंग जानी पडिले वळण इंद्रिया सकला पडिले वळण इंद्रिया सकला भावतो निराळा निराळा भावतो निराळा नाही तुझा पांडुरंग जानी पांडुरंग जानी पांडुरंग बने पांडुरंग जाने तुका म्हणे नेत्री केली ओळखण तुका म्हणे नेत्री केली ओळखण तटस्थ ते ध्यान तटस्थ ते ध्यान ध्यान वीटे परी पांडुरंग जानी पांडुरंग जानी पांडुरंग बनी पांडुरंग जानी.
Closing words. These spiritual giants lived quietly and passed away quietly. After enormous determination, discrimination, meditation, searching and sacrifice, they arrived at the same realization. Aham Brahmasmi, or I am that. One candle flame lit up another one and then another, spreading the knowledge and waking up the dreamers in many different lands. Homage to all the lineage masters. We bow to selfless self. Jai Guru, Jai Sadguru.